Morning at Valdebebas marked the beginning of a new era. Xabi Alonso, a legend on the pitch, now the man in charge on the sidelines. The first day, the first training, the first emotions, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. In this episode, real news, shocking rumors, big insiders, and even a couple of juicy gossip pieces. Why might Rodrygo leave? When is Franco Mastantuono arriving? Who will be Alonso's first signing? And can Real hijack a star right from under Arsenal's nose? Watch until the end, and you'll find out everything. The morning of June 9th, 2025. A new era begins at the Valdebebas training base in Madrid. Xabi Alonso, a Real Madrid legend, is leading his first training session as the club's head coach. He arrived at the base before dawn at 7:30 a.m., 3 hours before the session began. As he would later say, "Football makes me wake up at 2 in the morning. Until I figure everything out, I can't sleep." The first meeting was with the coaching staff. Alonso brought together new assistants with familiar club specialists, among them Lopez, Pararilla, Caminforte, and Encinas. He personally shook hands with each of them, and with every player. His words were simple and strong. "I will give you 200%, and I want the same in return." Few players took to the field so far. Rodrygo, Lucas Vazquez, Fran Garcia, Dani Ceballos trained in full. Courtois, Carvajal, Militao, Alaba, Valverde, and Brahim Diaz participated partially, performing light exercises. Rudiger, Mendy, Camavinga, and Endrick are still recovering. But there were a lot of youngsters. 10 academy players were given a chance to prove themselves. Among them, Mario Martin. The first session focused on structure and discipline. Warm-up, fitness, ball work, pressing drills, and positional exercises. Alonso personally oversaw every segment. At the end, running loads. Without overexertion, but with an emphasis on tactical organization. The intensity was high. The club's press office published footage showing Alonso constantly in motion, instructing, guiding, encouraging. "This will be my only chance to coach Real. And today is the first day," he said immediately after training ended. Club president Florentino Perez also outlined the goals. The Club World Cup kicks off on June 18th, and the team must be ready. Alonso understands. Time is short. And from day one, he's shown that he's here not to learn, but to work. The media notes, the session was tough, clear, energetic. Alonso himself says, "I'm happy to be here. This is my home. I know the expectations are high, and I want to give this team everything I have." The beginning was powerful, with clear priorities. Build a system, assess the squad, restore structure, and give a chance to those hungry for victory. This wasn't just the start of a new season. It was the beginning of a new Real Madrid philosophy. A tense transfer drama between Real Madrid and Benfica continues to unfold, and it concerns the first potential signing of the Xabi Alonso era. The main character is left-back Álvaro Carreras, whom the Madrid club wanted to have in the squad already by the start of the Club World Cup. But that won't happen. The deal couldn't be finalized before the June 10th deadline, which means Carreras will remain at Benfica at least for the duration of the tournament, helping his team in matches against Boca Juniors, Auckland City, and Bayern. Benfica's decision to register the player was not only logical from a sporting point of view, but also a strategic move. It's a clear signal. Carreras is valuable and should be appreciated to the fullest. Talks between the clubs have been ongoing since May. According to sources, Real offered around $40 to $42 million, while Benfica insists on a figure closer to $50 million, including bonuses. The current gap is estimated at $8 million. However, the key point is that a compromise is close. The clubs are discussing an installment structure in which Real will pay the full amount in several stages. A personal agreement between the player and the Madrid club has already been reached. Carreras is ready to make the move and has clearly expressed his desire to return to Spain. His interest is largely driven by the presence of Xabi Alonso, who personally insisted on this reinforcement. For Real's new coach, Carreras is not just another fullback. He's a vital piece of the rebuild, dynamic, technically skilled, capable of covering the entire left flank and fitting into a high-pressing system. Now, Real just has to wait for the tournament to end. The transfer is expected to be finalized in August, immediately after the Club World Cup. The temporary delay hasn't changed the club's determination. The deal will go through. This transfer will not only symbolize the new direction but also reflect how Real Madrid under Alonso will operate in the market, cautiously, strategically, but without sacrificing ambition. Franco Mastantuono is Real Madrid's first major Argentine target in this transfer window. The deal is done. The Madrid club has reached an agreement with River Plate for the transfer of the young midfielder for around $45 million, which could rise to $60 million, including bonuses and taxes. The contract is signed until 2031, a 6-year deal. This information has been confirmed by all top insiders: Fabrizio Romano, Florian Plettenberg, ESPN, and AS. According to their reports, the key terms, salary, bonuses, payment structure, have already been agreed upon. The deal is formalized. Only the legal registration remains, which will be completed once the player turns 18. However, Franco won't be appearing in Madrid in the coming weeks. According to the agreement between the clubs, he will remain at River Plate until the end of the team's participation in the Club World Cup, where he is expected to play starting June 17th. Moreover, the Argentine club wants to keep Mastantuono until winter, so that he can also participate in the Copa Libertadores. This is a repeat of the strategy River already used with Julián Álvarez and Claudio Echeverri. There are also formal restrictions. According to FIFA rules, a player cannot be officially registered in Europe before turning 18, and that will happen only on August 14th. Therefore, despite full agreement between the parties, the move will be legally completed only in the second half of the summer, or even in winter if River secures an extension of the loan. In this decision, both sides are acting with mutual respect. Real Madrid is showing flexibility and strategic patience by allowing the player to finish important tournaments in his home country. In turn, River is making it clear that they care not only about the money, but also about parting ways at the right time with one of their brightest talents. Florentino Perez insisted on finalizing the deal before the start of the Club World Cup. This gave Real legal rights to the player, even if Mastantuono joins later. In the end, the club secured control over the transfer and avoided the risk of losing the player to competitors, including PSG, who were also actively negotiating. This transfer is an investment in the future. Mastantuono is already considered one of the most gifted young players in South America. His playing style, technical vision, and ability to adapt to a high-paced game make him an ideal candidate for a long-term role in Real Madrid's midfield. The deal has become a prime example of the club's new youth policy, a focus on intelligence, strategy, and respect for original circumstances. And although Franco won't arrive in Madrid immediately, in the long run, it is moves like this that shape the next generation of the team. The situation around Martin Zubimendi is developing rapidly, and right now Real Madrid is making a final attempt to hijack the player from Arsenal. Although the English side is one step ahead, Madrid is still in the race. But time is running out. According to The Athletic and Football 24, Arsenal has already reached an agreement with Real Sociedad for a fee of $65 million, above the official $60 million release clause. The deal will be structured in installments, which allowed the Gunners to beat their competitors with more flexible terms. ProFootball.ua adds that the Sociedad camp is openly unhappy with Real Madrid's interference and is inclined to sell the player to the Premier League. Nevertheless, on June 10th, The Athletic reported that Arsenal had nearly finalized the deal, while Real Madrid is preparing for the final round of negotiations. As noted by Fichajes.net, Madrid does not want to pay the full $60 million clause, preferring to offer a lower amount with compensation in the form of bonuses or a swap involving young players. According to AS and Topsport.bg, Xabi Alonso personally initiated the talks with Zubimendi. He sees him as a key player for his new system, someone who fits perfectly into a model of aggressive pressing and ball control. However, Real has not yet made an official offer. ESPN and Marca confirm that Real has indeed become more active in recent weeks, reaching out to the player and his agent. Zubimendi, according to Football Insider and Sports Illustrated, is impressed by the opportunity to join Real. Alonso was his idol, and the player himself prefers to stay in La Liga. Still, in terms of financial conditions, Arsenal is leading. As noted by Goal and Managing Madrid, Real is losing out on the financial bid and is trying to make up for it through other means: the player's personal interest, the status of the club, and geographical proximity to home. As of June 10th, the situation is as follows. Arsenal is firmly in the lead. Real Madrid is preparing a final offer and waiting for Sociedad's response. If the Madrid club fails to convince the parties at this stage, they will pull out of the race. Sociedad, despite keeping the door open to Madrid, is economically focused on the more lucrative offer from England. Conclusion: the Zubimendi transfer is 90% heading toward Arsenal, but Real Madrid is not giving up. Final negotiations and the player's reaction in the next 24 hours will decide everything. Whether Alonso can secure his first major signing against the odds, we'll find out very soon. Friends, I'd like to ask you to support this video with a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. While the voiceover is done with the help of AI, the script and video editing are created by a real person to make it as interesting as possible for you. Thank you for your support, and let's keep going. A new chapter at Real Madrid is just beginning, and it promises to be bold, bright, and full of surprises. Alonso has already laid the groundwork with discipline. Now it's time to get to work in the transfer market. Some are leaving, some are arriving, and some dream of returning home. Subscribe to stay on top of it all, because we track not only the facts, but also the whispers behind the scenes. A hot summer lies ahead, and Real Madrid is already in the eye of the storm.